became a father. He became a grandfather. And he kept it. I'm talking about a fictional character that I made up, and I'm impressed by the character. Hello dears, Natalie Locke here. Here's episode 2 of Write the Story. If you missed episode 1, I will link it here. But part of episode 1, I've kind of established some rules of just because I happened to do it in episode 1, I want to continue the same trend. First rule is, if you're not familiar with Write the Story, each page in this book has a premise of a story and then 10 words that you are supposed to incorporate into your story. So what I did before was outline for 5 minutes. Then I wrote physically in the book with pencil, because I'm trying to forgive myself, newly sharpened, write in pencil the story. And then I talk about how it kind of differed between just the short amount of time from outlining to actually writing a rough draft, how long it took and what changed. And then what I plan to do at the end of this episode is I'm going to give you my favorite line and my least favorite line. I think that that's going to help show growth, and I'm welcoming any feedback you have through these episodes as well. And you can even join along with me. That's something that's really cool about these, especially because you can pause the video and not pay attention to whatever I'm doing. So, first and foremost, episode 2, the story is A Family Mystery Uncovered. The words that should be included in this, they are Sunday, secret, wallpaper, swap, sister, curiosity, island, notebook, marathon, and demand. Okay, let's go through how the writing process went for me this time around. I took 5 minutes to do my outline, and it took me 15 minutes to write. And here's the bad part, I missed 2 words. I mean, I alluded to them, but I didn't say them, so we'll see. Okay. All right, with the outline, I was just spitting out ideas, and that's the way I outline is like I got these pictures and I want this image. So I said behind wallpaper is a notebook. There's a picture of an island on the front of the notebook. And the way the notebook is found is 2 sisters are exploring. I wrote new house, but then I was like, no. I'm gonna make it their grandparents' house. And the parents have to leave to go to the grocery store. It's on a Sunday that they're exploring, or maybe there was a journal entry that says Sunday on it. I was like toying between those 2 things, but I wrote both down. And then I said, the secret is, and this part I'm proud of, especially considering this came together real quick. I didn't see this ahead of time. I wrote the idea down as I thought of it. The secret is, a grandfather recently passed is actually the sister's real grandfather's twin brother, who was never married. And when the original grandfather died from malaria, I was going with some. Through a brotherly travel trip, the brother took the identity of the girl's grandfather because he was single and everything, and he didn't want to leave his brother's wife, who was pregnant with the girl's mother, youngest of 3. I have all this information here. It's pretty funny. I got all this information here and this backstory, and not a lot of space. So with that, yeah, continue on. The brother, who was actually the grandfather that the girls grew up with, never told anyone that it was actually the grandfather that died, not himself, his old identity. And he never demanded anything. He was a great grandfather. He just was living under his brother's name and such. And this line I was actually proud of, and I'm surprised that I wasn't able to incorporate it. But I said, he became a better person through a marathon of a lie. to use the word marathon. And I thought that was interesting because the way I imagine it is that the brother being single, maybe he wasn't, he didn't care about anyone else. Maybe he was kind of selfish or something like that. I don't know. Not knocking single people at all, okay? But it was just how I was developing the story. And so I had this thoughts of like in-depth development of the brother that decided to take the identity of his brother who actually died. I found it interesting. So the things that stayed the same is behind the wallpaper was a notebook. There was two sisters exploring their grandparents' house. I kept that big secret of the identity swap. I didn't say the word secret or the word swap. Those I kind of missed the mark on. The only things that stayed the same was I kind of kept Sunday, but it wasn't a journal entry in the notebook. It was you'll see. Curiosity was the girls exploring, so I kept that the same. Wallpaper stayed the same. Sisters stayed. Notebook stayed. And so I, out of 4 out of 10 words in my original outline stayed with their original intent. So the words that changed is secret, because I didn't use it. There is a secret, I didn't use the word secret. Island became a reference to what the brothers were doing in their travels before one of them died. Swap was never said, but it was alluded to because the one brother kind of swapped identities with his other brother. Marathon became a different use, even though I really love the wording of marathon of a lie, because that's a long time. I mean, you're talking like you were a parent, this brother, and I don't know why I'm getting so sucked into this story. I might actually write it one of these days, or hey, it's out here on the internet, someone else can write it maybe. But the brother became a parent overnight, lost his brother, had to take on his identity, never told his new wife, and he kept that lie going until he died. He became a father. He became a grandfather. And he kept it. I'm talking about a fictional character that I made up, and I'm impressed by the character. What is going on? Okay. So, I said, and I changed the way demand was used, because I said the brother didn't demand anything. I was trying to convey that he feels he did good with his life. He became a better person and such, but either way. So, unlike last time, yes, I will type up this story just because I do like to save an electronic version in case something was to happen in this book. I kind of like to see the growth. I'll talk about how I feel about this story, but I think you can already tell how I feel after I'm done reading it. Girls, your father and I are going to the store. Please finish unpacking your rooms while we're gone. Yes, Mom, the girls said in unison. After the front door closes, the car is heard leaving the driveway. Alicia stands up. Break time, let's explore. Evie nods in agreement. The girls began to work through the house, sidestepping boxes as they let their curiosity guide them. They entered what used to be their grandparents' piano room until the house was gifted to their parents in the will. Some of the boxes in this room weren't a part of the boxes the sisters remembered from the old house. The girls moved the boxes around as they peeked at the black and white photos. There was a photo of twin men. That must be Grandpa and his brother. Alicia looked over Evie's shoulder. I don't remember him, Evie said. Grandpa's brother died when Grandma was pregnant with Mom. They went to the island of Madagascar to compete in a marathon hike when Grandpa's brother died of malaria or something. Evie nodded and set the photo to the side. At the bottom of the box was a love letter Grandpa had written to Grandma on the day of their wedding, Sunday, 1943. Evie read out loud as she set the letter on top of the photo. From there, Evie moved the box she was digging through. The wallpaper was peeling behind the box. Alicia, Evie called out. What's this? The girls peeled back the wallpaper and found a hole with a notebook. Alicia picked it up first. Let me see, Evie demanded. This is our great uncle's journal of his and Grandpa's trip. But there are entries in the same handwriting after our uncle died, Alicia said. Okay, so truth time. That final Alicia said wasn't in there, but I mean it to be in there. Second, I think what I want, I'm gonna do this with my future videos with this episode. I didn't do it with episode 1, but I'm gonna do it here and try to start this trend for the future episodes. So I actually love this story. I think this could be a great short story. I'm getting ideas and stuff, and I like it. I'm proud of myself. Parts that I'm proud of myself in this story is the fact that I never once said the family moved, but you inferred they moved because I'm talking about boxes, unpacking, sidestepping. You infer that the grandparents have died because I said it was their grandparents' house until the parents got the house gifted in the will. Like, I did a lot of showing, which I thought I had a problem with, but in this story, I didn't as much. I think my least favorite line, I think I'm going to start doing this. My least favorite line in this whole story is right after Evie sets the love letter on top of the photo that she placed off to the side. My transition to moving the box was not strong. I feel like that's something that I can definitely work on, because the line I say is, from there, Evie moved the box she was digging through. I feel it was a kind of a jump or something. It just didn't flow right for me. So that's my least favorite line. Regarding a most favorite line is, I kind of like how I ended this where I said, but there are entries in the same handwriting after our uncle died. And I feel that's a powerful line because it says a lot, and you can infer, holy moly, because you got a timeline. You got the grandma was pregnant with mom at the time when this trip happened. You got that things changed and that there were entries after the fact. Like, you kind of get the secret. And I'm proud of that line. But here's the thing. I'm not sure if you noticed it, but I mentioned the love letter at the beginning. And what I was going to have is that the journal and the love letter, because the love letter was on the wedding date, I was going to have the journal and the love letter had different handwriting. But as I was writing it, and I wrote the love letter in, and then I got to the journal, once I got to the journal, I realized, no, let's just have entries after he already died. That says it. It's in the same handwriting. You got a comparison right there. Because I never really said the girl's age, but I imagine they wouldn't be, Nancy Drewing enough, yes, I just verbed that, to figure out, hey, let's compare the love letter and the journal. So with that, I'm still proud of this. Things that I would definitely want to stretch the story out on is I would want to give a little more personality to the sisters. I kind of showed Alyssa as a little bit bossy. I mean, she started like, hey, break time, let's explore. Then she grabbed the notebook before Evie could. And then Evie was like, hey, I want it. Like, I kind of imagined Alyssa older and Evie younger. But it's, I feel like I should have made them stronger characters. Like, it's almost, you get more, I don't know, there's so much behind the scenes in this story in my mind than what's on the page. And I know some of it is conveyed, but not all of it. So this story, I think I could see myself writing and stretching it out even more. And I think you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna star this page. And so that way, when I go back through this notebook and I'm sitting here thinking, what I could do better, what I could do again, this story, I'd love to make a short story. Definitely. This video was much longer than my last video, but I feel, I guess it's a reflection of how much I loved writing this story and how much I loved doing it. Yeah. thanks for watching the video. I'm really interested how anybody else's stories went. And I don't have any claim to ownership with these stories. So if I'm giving you spark ideas of what to write, writing prompts and such, go for it and everything. I don't hold claim to this. This is really what I'm enjoying right now, is I'm seeing myself become a better writer. And that's what's more important to me. So with that, oh shoot, what's my new outro? Okay. Have a good day, have a good week, have a good month, and have a good year.